All right. So let's talk about this. What causes cancer? You know, a rational, intelligent person, I think, could make a pretty good argument that the cause of cancer is a lack of good quality information, which I think you're going to soon realize what I'm talking about here. The American Cancer Society, very first thing when you go to look up what causes cancer, quote, cancer is a complex group of diseases. Wikipedia, look it up. Cause of cancer. Cancer is a disease caused by genetic changes. Nearly 10 million people every year die of cancer worldwide. Did you hear that number? Nearly 10 million. And the World Health Organization, well, get their quote as to what's causing it. Cancer arises from the transformation of normal cells into tumor cells in a multi-stage process that generally progresses from a precancerous lesion to a malignant tumor. Are you kidding me? What causes cancer? Cancer cells that spread around in your body, they cause cancer. I mean, it's like asking a third grader, and this is the World Health Organization, where you're looking to get an answer. So remember what I said to you before. What causes cancer? In many cases, it could simply be a lack of really good information at this point. So today, we're really going to help, hopefully, someone, because I know those messages are not empowering at all. We're going to focus on some important facts today, and we're going to offer some great anti-cancer strategies starting right now. Hi, I'm Jonathan Landsman, your host for Natural Health 365 Live. We do these broadcasts every single day, Monday to Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Each day we design a new show really focused on improving your immune system, which will protect your health. And by the way, if you're new to this broadcast, please do me a big favor now and type new in the comments section. And whoever you are, if you find that this program is helpful, you like this information, do us a really big favor and share this news with someone that you love, a friend or a family member you feel that really needs to hear this message about cancer today. Tag somebody in the comments section, send it off to them, email them, whatever it takes. Make sure you get them in front of this kind of info, because I know this kind of information can really help to save lives. So let's get started, okay? Number one, what fuels cancer? Let's try to keep this real and practical. Simply put, if asked of me, which since it's my show, let's do this. It's too many toxins that are building up in your body from a number of different places. I've covered this time and again on the Natural Health 365 program. Environmental toxins, food, water. There are a lot of places where basically too many toxins are building up within you on a cellular level that make those cells dysfunctional. You couple that, and it's very much related with nutritional deficiencies, and you have yourself a really serious health issue coming up if that's left ignored. And I say that those are very related because the more toxicity you have within your cells, even if, say, you eat an organic salad, but you don't address the toxicity, it's very hard to absorb the nutrition. Even if you take a high-quality nutritional supplement, if there's too much toxicity in the body, then it's going to be an uphill battle to get that nutrition into the cell where it matters the most. So both are related to each other in a very strong way and definitely are at the root cause of all of the health problems we see, especially a cancer diagnosis. Now, the thing that's kind of new today, and this was kind of inspired, if you will, by a presentation and interview that I had last night. Somebody interviewed me for their upcoming event on cancer. And so I decided to talk about the liver health connection to your cancer risk. How is the liver as an organ related to cancer risk? And clearly, we know that this is an extremely overlooked problem within conventional medicine and in the mainstream media. This issue of the liver failing in so many people, it's a huge problem. Here in the United States alone, we're looking at well over 100 million people walk around with some form of dysfunction in their liver, a fatty liver, if you will. And it's a spectrum, right? From slightly fatty to really a fatty liver with scarring, cirrhosis, and liver cancer, obviously being all the way at the other end, a very dysfunctional liver. The liver, bottom line, takes a beating every single day. Now, what would be, in my opinion, and again, keep in mind, I've done a whole event on this, the Fatty Liver Docu-Class. If you're on the Natural Health 365 newsletter list, just go to naturalhealth365.com, get your first name and email address entered in there so you're on our newsletter list. You're going to get an announcement as to when I put out this entire program on liver health and really addressing those people who are suffering with fatty liver disease. But I wanted to highlight today two really big signs that your liver is going south, and you shouldn't ignore these at all. And I'm going to underline and emphasize this big time. A lot of people walk around with this and never make the connection between these two symptoms, these two health issues, and a dysfunctional liver. Again, the conventional docs are not really talking about this in the office too much at all. Number one would be chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue is a clear sign that your liver is being taxed in one way or another. Something is causing some extra toxicity, congestion, sluggishness within your liver. And if that one area were improved, you're at a very good chance of getting over your chronic fatigue for sure. So look at those as two connections, right? Chronic fatigue and problems in the liver. Another health issue, which is really, how should I say, often tough to talk about for a lot of people. I've mentioned it on several of my programs in the past, and that's constipation. If you're having trouble having a really good, strong, healthy, large bowel movement every single morning, I'll tell you right now that constipation, and again, conventional medicine will say, hey, if you skip a day or two and you don't have a bowel movement, not a big deal. If you go, 2-3 times a week, that's good enough. Believe me when I tell you, that is insane, because that is a direct relationship to your body not literally getting rid of toxic debris on a daily basis, especially since you've gone all night, which is the exact time that your body is supposed to be running at its best to repair, regenerate, create these waste products all night, gather them up, and literally, naturally want to expel them from the body. If you're sluggish in the morning and you're not having that bowel movement, that is a very, very good indication that something is very wrong within your liver. And all of this toxic debris that builds up in your body gets created on a daily basis and then gets reabsorbed and doesn't get out, absolutely increases your risk for all types of cancer. Yet, you'd have to search all day and probably never find this kind of information that I'm talking to you about today at the American Cancer Society, the National Cancer Institute. None of these organizations, these entities, put out any of this kind of detailed, important, practical, empowering information on their websites. Why? What is taking them so long? That's my question today, for sure. So a key point here to please remember is that a healthy gut and really good elimination, meaning getting that urinating often throughout the day, every 2-3 hours. That's important. A clear, pale yellow color. That's ideal. And a healthy bowel movement every single day, at least once a day, preferably early in the morning, is going to equal a very healthy liver. And that's what's going to give you a really strong anti-cancer base for the rest of your life. So keep an eye on that. So what causes poor liver function? Again, this shouldn't be like rocket science or very hard to find on a lot of these conventional websites, but I have to tell you, every time I still give it a try. I do my research, I take a look, see if there's any updates to the pages. And this kind of stuff is rarely, if ever, discussed in any way at all. And if it is brought up, it's extremely vague. Today, you're going to get a bit more of the specifics that really give you context and really help you to understand, hey, what can I do to keep my liver healthier and to keep my whole body healthier and to live that anti-cancer lifestyle? That's what this is all about today. Okay, top ones, obviously, too many processed foods. There is way too much of that going into way too many people on a consistent basis. You're talking about cans, bags, boxes, any of this stuff that is packaging your food. If most of your food is coming from those places, you are much more likely to be consuming very unhealthy ingredients and, to be quite honest with you, cancerous, toxic debris. Too many chemicals, too many pesticides, too many artificial ingredients. You really got to get away from. And then basically, I should say also, even more importantly, very denatured food. Food that is not alive, giving you that high vibrational living energy that we all need to sustain life and to keep those cancer cells at bay. It keeps our immune system stronger when we eat healthier, organic, whole, real foods that don't have labels on the outside at all. That's what keeps our immune system so powerful, so alert, that when it notices a cancer cell, it neutralizes them and quickly escorts them out of the body. So obviously another big problem as part of processed food is high fructose corn syrup. This is a pervasive substance in so many processed foods. High fructose corn syrup coming from corn starch, coming from genetically, for the most part, all of it is genetically modified, or as I like to put it, and many other people out in the natural health world love to put it, genetically manipulated corn. This is a very toxic food source where this high fructose corn syrup, which is really a toxic substance, is made from. We definitely don't want it. In general, another thing that really causes liver dysfunction is as we age, we don't need as much high volume amounts of food. So definitely eating too much food in general is going to put much more strain on the liver, even if it's the healthiest food in the world. You got to be careful with that, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. You just got to kind of gauge it based on your level of physical activity. Generally speaking, a lot of people based on their activity level, meaning really low, are eating way too many calories, too much food, right? Too much quantity. So it's not so much the calories as much as it's just not a need for so much of that in your system. So dehydration is another biggie as well. When you're not drinking enough clean water, and I emphasize clean, pure water that doesn't have toxins in it, if you're not drinking enough, you're much more likely to be backed up with toxic debris that comes from just normal metabolism to any of the other foods or drinks that you may have that don't have the best ingredients. And with the dehydration as an underlying state within your body, it's very easy for those toxins to stay stuck inside your body lodged into fat tissue and just kind of stay stored and bioaccumulate inside. This absolutely increases your risk of cancer. And this is something that a lot more people need to hear, for sure. Low fiber intake? Absolutely. Now, that is something that conventionally is talked about, but unfortunately, in too many cases, you'll see on the website that they'll say, eat some more fruits and vegetables. But they never simply say the importance of organic fruits and vegetables. They should definitely be promoting so much more the value of organic, chemical-free farming. This is the healthiest way for us to be raising food and delivering it to the population. And that's something that is really missing in today's lack of information that's being put out there. And I really do believe that this is hurting a lot of people to a degree that most are not even aware of. They don't know that this is happening to them because no one has ever told them this before. That's why you hear me always say, please, if you feel like someone has never heard this information, just share it with them, this show, and ask them to tell you what they think about it. That's all, so that you can have some sort of discussion started. It's an important talk, for sure. Heavy metal toxicity is so important. This is a biggie. I have spoken many times in the past with many shows that we've done about mercury-based silver fillings. Mercury is a neurotoxic heavy metal, and that is no place inside the mouth. If it is there in one of your teeth, one of your tooth fillings, where the dentist has put in a mercury-based silver filling, that mercury, that neurotoxic heavy metal substance, is being vaporized every time hot and cold drinks, chewing with your mouth, any kind of food, gum, whatever it might be. If you're doing that, the vapors are being released, mixing with your saliva. It's being absorbed into your mouth tissue, up into your brain. It's going into your digestive system, into your blood, into your lymphatics. This mercury toxicity is a huge issue. And other heavy metals as well, like lead or arsenic. These are things you don't want inside your body. And again, with heavy metals being in obviously the mercury-based silver fillings and all the other metals that are used in conventional dentistry, vaccines, seafood, these are areas that you want to be very concerned about, where you could get way too many heavy metals if you're not careful. So you want to get away from the toxicity, and you want to amp up your quality of your nutrition as soon as possible. You will never be sorry making these efforts each and every day. Medications and antibiotics, that's a no-brainer. Hopefully you can understand where I'm coming from with that. These are very toxic substances, and I get it. Sometimes they're needed, but it would be a really good thing to take a look at why antibiotics are needed for you. Why is your immune system getting run down? Why you tend to be prone to bacterial or viral infections? Let's work on enhancing your immune system. Medicinal mushrooms, better quality food, organic, getting away from chemicals, drinking a bit more water, exercising a little bit more. Whatever it might be, the idea is to find a combination of things that improve your immune system so that you don't have the need for the antibiotics. If you're taking medications for high blood pressure or blood sugar problems, you name it, take a look at that and find out with a good healthcare provider, a good integrative healthcare provider who appreciates and can talk with you about the medications you're taking and some of the steps that you can take so that you can wean yourself off safely and effectively. Wouldn't that be the best of all worlds? You get away from the medications that are harming your liver, putting your immune system at risk, your gut health, your overall immune system, putting you at a higher risk for cancer. So you're getting away from taking so many medications, and you're feeling a lot better. Your energy is going up. Your overall health feels great because you started to do so many other things that really made you feel better. This is the best of all worlds, right? Too much wireless technology. Definitely, I've talked about that quite a bit. If you're feeling very mentally, emotionally, and physically stressed out, you want to try to cut down on your exposure to wireless technology. Your smart meters on homes, try to get them replaced if you can. If you're moving, make sure they're not on your home when you move. Wireless routers, wireless computers, your cell phone, you've got to use it, but try to keep it down to a minimum. When you sleep at night, absolutely stay away from all of this wireless technology. When you're resting at night, this is the number one place where your body is looking to repair and regenerate from the day before all the stress that it endured. This is crucial for living an anti-cancer lifestyle, getting a good quality night's sleep every single night, not just once a month, right? So getting away from the wireless at night, getting away from the bright lights. They actually make these blue light blocking glasses that'll help you to calm yourself at night, produce more melatonin, reduce your cortisol stress hormone levels, reduce them, have them drop down, and then you're really ready to get a good night's sleep. That's where you want to get to, you know? Okay, and then obviously, so we covered the bad sleep habits. That's a whole show in and of itself for sure. But early to bed, early to rise, really good habit to get into, and it's going to help your body to repair and regenerate. The last thing I want to mention as to something that is, again, easier said than done, full disclosure, and definitely one of the most destructive things you can do on a daily basis to your liver. Can you guess what that might be? I'll pause for a moment to see if some people want to throw down some comments down below. What did I maybe leave out? We talked about chemicals, food, good quality water we want to have, not bad water. We get all that. Wireless technology, we covered that as well. You got to correct sleep problems because poor sleep, very destructive for the liver. Now, I'm not going to leave you hanging anymore. Another really big deal that needs to be aired out, and again, it's not easy to talk about, especially for those who go through this on a daily basis, and that is anger. That emotion in particular, being angry on a habitual level, day in, day out, week after week, month after month, year after year, is very physically destructive to the liver. And again, some of the concepts like this that were turned on, for me, that turned me on to this idea, I should say, was reading the work of a woman who's no longer with us. May her soul be resting in peace. Her name was Candace Pert. She had a PhD in a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here. She wrote a book called The Molecules of Emotion. You really should check that out. It's a great book that basically talks about how your emotions, feelings, and thoughts actually do affect you on a physical, biochemical level. And she did studies and research and produced it and just really shed light on this idea. But it's a really simple way of really connecting it for yourself inside your mind. Wow, emotions are not just emotions. And you know what? To be all due respect to a lot of those experts out there that say, you know what? It's not good to suppress anger. You need to express it. Get it out. Please don't misunderstand. I think that is a terrible teaching because it's a shallow way of looking at the issue of anger. Why are you getting angry so much? And believe you me, before I even go there, expressing your anger every day is definitely not going to create a better life for you. The more angry you get every day, you watch what happens. I'm sure you can relate and understand what I'm saying. Life gets tougher and tougher. Nobody wants to listen to an angry person. People live in fear around angry people. And the person that's angry themselves, I would venture to say most of the time, from everything I've learned from my mentors, my teachers on a spiritual level, and also even on a physical level, on just a basic natural health level, those people that are most angry all the time are very self-centered people, and they feel empty inside. Kind of a strange idea, right? If this is new for you, this kind of information. What would emptiness have to do with anger? I don't have more understanding from you. You don't understand me. I feel misunderstood. Emptiness. Therefore, I'm angry. I'm going to fill that emptiness with anger. It just works hand in hand. If you don't do what I want you to do, you're not listening to me, right? Emptiness. Why won't you just listen to me and do as I say? Anger. To fill up the emptiness. But what if we reversed it out? And again, go back to what I said before. Remember when I said, oh, you have to express your anger. Experts say that that's really good. It's very destructive to suppress your anger. And you know what? Part of that is true. That's why I said it's a superficial form of advice. Yes, suppressing anger is a very unhealthy thing. If you really are angry and you don't say anything and you're holding it all inside and it's bottled up, yeah, it's going to tear you up inside. No doubt. But what about a discussion of transforming your anger to peace? What if you didn't have to control everybody else around you? Whatever they do, they do. Isn't that really the truth in the end? You may be disappointed. You may have wanted that person to do something that you feel is better for them to do, if not directly for you, but even if you think because you love them, what's the matter with them? They should only do this. It's a lot smarter. What are they, stupid? Again, remember the two things I'm highlighting today about anger. Still a little too self-centered, thinking all about what you think, right? I. And there's that emptiness feeling inside. Lose those two things, and you will lose your anger. You'll find much more happiness. Look, it's hard enough to make changes in your sleep habits, to make changes in how you purify your water, where you buy your food, what kind of clothing, what kind of bedding sheets that you buy that are healthier and not so toxic. I mean, the list goes on and on. How you improve your career, your work, how you change your routines at home or outside the home so that you start getting more physical and exercising more. Changing a lot of things on your own is a really tall task, right? A tough one. There's a lot of work involved in that, and it's probably some of the most important work you'll ever do. Because the bottom line is the better you feel, the better people all around you are going to feel as well, right? So there's the challenge right there. Okay, I could probably do a whole show on anger because I did a lot of work with this. And I've worked with a lot of people. Keep in mind, I've said this to you, unless you're new to my program here, I had a huge history of working with high-performance athletes and just a whole mess of other kids and people who wanted to be that way, and they paid me good money to coach them. Anger was a huge part of the problem. The more angry they were that they weren't getting what they wanted, the results that they wanted, the more angry they were, the more destroyed they were, the more it destroyed their ability to be successful. So I had to talk to them about this all the time until I drilled it into their head. And let me tell you, the highest performing athletes that I've ever had the honor of working with, and I've worked with some really high performance athletes, the Olympic Training Center in Marquette, Michigan, and Lake Placid, New York, high performance athletes that were on full athletic scholarships, professional athletes as well, really good ones I'm talking about. They get this. Anger has no place in their life. A total waste of time. I'll be honest with you and blunt. They think it's for losers. And so it's so repulsive to them that they just stay focused on what they have to do to get better. And you know what? A lot of people admire those people. Gee, I wonder why. So anyway, that's enough of my rant about anger. Bottom line is, being angry on a regular basis is very destructive to your liver and can literally drive you, God forbid, to liver cancer. Okay, if it's serious enough. As we finish up here real quick, some liver-friendly foods. We're going to lighten things up a little bit more, not so emotional, right? Bitter greens, arugula, dandelion, mustard greens, watercress, kale, collard greens. Really good. Bitter, the more bitter, the better, right? That's basically the slogan you can remember. Bitter greens are great for liver health. So you want to get one of these in. You don't have to eat all of them every day. Just eat one of them and dance around and try different ones, and just make sure each week you're having a nice amount of these in any way you feel you can get it down the hatch. That's all that matters. And hey, chew them up really well. That's the thing too. Don't just like 1, 2, and then swallow after 2 chews of these greens and just swallow them down. Break up all your food in general much more. That's a great liver health tip as well. Chew well. Milk thistle, huge. It's an herb that is super healing. It inhibits, I'll say it again, it inhibits the binding of toxins specifically to liver cells. That's why you hear that milk thistle is such a powerful herb for the liver. So there you go. Garlic, not your processed garlic, like sort of out of a can or a box or something on a label of like 50 ingredients. Talking about raw garlic, those pieces of garlic that are potent, powerful to chew on. You can really explode with flavor in your mouth. That raw garlic is really good. A couple cloves of that, 1, 2, or 3 a day. That's really powerful stuff. High in antioxidants and actually protects the liver against environmental toxins. What environmental toxins? I live such a healthy life. Car fumes. Open up the windows wherever you live, your apartment, your home, and you've got environmental toxins all throughout the air. And of course, if you're exposed to some more of these fumes, and indoor air pollution is pretty darn toxic as well. The dust, all the mites that are in the air, all this stuff, you want to, pollen as well. All of this stuff can build up. But garlic is great to have in your system to protect you from damage. Sea vegetables, so important. Mineral rich. Too many people are mineral deficient, and the liver loves minerals. Sea vegetables are a great source of minerals. You got nori, toasted nori sheets, really great to make avocado rolls, whatever you like with that. You can even snack on nori just plain, out of just the sheet itself, and put it in your mouth. Melts in your mouth like cotton candy. Doesn't taste as sweet, but it just is an easy sea vegetable to eat and a great source of minerals. There's also wakame and dulse and aramay and kelp. A lot of different sea vegetables. Wakame is great in soup. Kombu is another great hard sea vegetable that you can soak and put at the bottom of like soups that you make at home, and that just infuses the minerals into the soup. It's a really simple thing to do. And when the soup is all done cooking, that kombu is soft as can be. Probably won't even taste the kombu. Kind of comes along with a couple mouthfuls of your food. But the minerals are in all the water that is going into all the food that you eat in a soup. So that's a great little tip to get a lot more minerals into your life by just adding sea vegetables into your soup. It's a small amount too. You don't have to go overboard with this because minerals in general don't have to be mega doses, just a small amount. But the key is day in, day out, week after week, month after month. That's the key. Find a way to get these sea vegetables into your diet. They even make like sea vegetable dry powder, like sprinkles. You can kind of sprinkle on salad or whatever. So there are a lot of ways that you can do this, right? Other foods are avocado, which reduces inflammation and actually helps with detoxification. Very healthy fat to have. Artichokes, really good to help with bile flow. And that's what we want. In general, everything I'm talking to you about is eating in a healthy way and not eating this processed garbage, is making sure that your whole body flows better, right? Remember what I said at the beginning? Constipation is your body not flowing very well at all. So important to kind of get things moving. Artichokes are great. Brussels sprouts are also as well. They bind with bile in the gut. So Brussels sprouts, the nutrients there are very good to have in your body. As a bonus tip, I've mentioned clean water, how important that is. A Berkey doesn't require any electricity at all. You throw the water in, down at the bottom, pure water comes out. So even if you're putting tap water in, at least you're removing all the impurities, including fluoride. If you get a fluoride filter to be put into that Berkey filter, can sit right on your countertop. It's a great way to secure clean water. Or you can get some spring water, which I've talked about a lot. Make sure it's a good source. You could test it if you want once, but make sure your source of spring water is great. That is a great source of living, live water that is really great for your overall energy. And of course, it'll hydrate you and flush out that liver so it's not so toxic, which will absolutely reduce your risk of cancer. So my question of the day, and real quick, just so you know also, exercise, I'm big on that as well. Sweating is so important. So just dress appropriately, right? If it's warm down here in Florida, if I had a T-shirt and a long sleeve shirt and a pair of pants and my sneakers, I'd tell you, if I walked for 20, 30 minutes, I would be sweating. That's how hot it is here just by walking. So you adjust where you live, but the idea is to dress appropriately, to build up that heat and promote sweating with comfortable exercise. If you're drained for the rest of the day, you are over-exercising. That's not what I'm recommending. So anyway, those are all great tips for better liver health and to reduce your risk of cancer. You can see these are way more than what you would get on most websites out there for sure. And my question of the day, what is your biggest cause? What do you think is the biggest cause of cancer? A, genetics. B, diet and lifestyle. C, environmental toxins. Or D, maybe you'd like to put down some suggestions to share with our community. Thank you again for being with us. I really do appreciate it. I hope if you enjoyed this information, please share it with someone that you love. Tag somebody in the comment section. Tag 2 or 3 people. I'm sure you have a bunch of people who you feel need this information. And just as a reminder, the Natural Health 365 live broadcast goes off each and every day, Monday to Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's when we do another show for you, all designed for improving your immune system, which will automatically protect your health. Thanks a lot for being with us today, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. All right, Instagram. Hope you liked it. Spread it around. Share it. Thanks, guys.